Ever wondered what your furry friend is afraid of? Well, just like us, dogs have fears and anxieties too. They're not just simple creatures of habit, but complex beings with emotions that can be as varied and deep as our own. Their fears can manifest in many ways, and though it might be difficult to understand or recognize them at first, understanding them is key to enhancing the bond we share with our four-legged friends. Think about it. How would you feel if you were constantly surrounded by things you feared, with no way of expressing your discomfort or escaping the situation? Not very pleasant, is it? That's why it's so crucial to understand our dog's fears, so we can create an environment that makes them feel safe, secure, and loved. So what are some common fears dogs might have? Well, there's a whole array of them. Loud noises, for instance, can be incredibly frightening for our dogs. Thunderstorms, fireworks, even the sound of a vacuum cleaner or a doorbell can send them into a panic. Then there are new environments. Dogs thrive on routine and familiarity, so a sudden change in surroundings can be unsettling for them. It's not just about physically relocating, but also about new smells, new sights, new sounds. All these can be overwhelming for our furry pals, and let's not forget about separation anxiety. Many dogs fear being left alone, and this can lead to destructive behaviors when their human family members are away. But remember, every dog is unique, and so are their fears. Your dog's fears may not fit neatly into these categories, but that's okay. The important thing is to observe, understand, and respond to their fears with empathy and patience. Let us dive in and explore some real-life stories about dogs and their fears. Meet Baxter, a golden retriever with a thunderous problem. This charming pup lives in the heart of the Midwest, where thunderstorms are as common as cornfields. And just as the storm clouds roll in, so does Baxter's anxiety. You see, our four-legged friend has a rather intense fear of thunderstorms. The moment the heavens rumble, Baxter would turn into a pile of nerves, shaking like a leaf in the wind. His heart would race, his eyes would open wide with fear, and he'd search for the smallest, darkest corner to hide from the terrifying sounds of the storm. Baxter's owner, a kind-hearted woman named Lisa, was initially at a loss. She hated seeing her furry friend in such distress, but she didn't know how to help him. So she started researching, seeking advice from experts and other dog owners who had faced similar challenges. And that's when she discovered a world of comfort and distraction techniques designed to help dogs like Baxter. Lisa started by creating a safe space for Baxter, a spot where he could retreat when the thunderstorms rolled in. She filled it with his favorite blankets, toys, and even a piece of her worn clothing to provide a comforting scent. Next, she discovered the power of distraction. During storms, she'd play Baxter's favorite games or offer him a special treat, redirecting his attention away from the scary sounds outside. It took time, but Baxter gradually began to associate thunderstorms with positive experiences rather than fear. The shaking lessened, the hiding became less frequent, and Baxter started to show signs of relaxation even during the loudest of storms. Baxter's story is a testament to how understanding and patience can help our canine companions overcome their fears. Baxter's fear of thunderstorms didn't vanish overnight, but with Lisa's help, he learned to manage it. And that's a victory worth celebrating. Sophie, a dachshund, paints a different picture of canine fear. Let's journey into Sophie's world, a world where being alone is the biggest terror. Sophie's tale is one of severe separation anxiety, a fear that may appear simple to us, but is a monstrous ordeal for our furry friends. Sophie's anxiety was not subtle. It manifested in ways that were both destructive and distressing. Left alone, she would chew on furniture, scratch at doors, and howl incessantly. The aftermath of her fear was a battlefield, a living room littered with fragments of what was once a peaceful home. But it wasn't just the physical destruction that was worrisome. The stress it caused Sophie was heartbreaking. Imagine the terror she must have felt, the sense of abandonment, the fear of the unknown. And then imagine her owners, coming home to a scene of chaos, feeling helpless as they watched their beloved pet suffer. The situation was untenable, and Sophie's owners knew they needed help. They turned to a professional, a dog behaviorist, who stepped into Sophie's world to understand her fears and help her overcome them. Through a series of behavioral training sessions, the behaviorist worked with Sophie and her owners. They learned to recognize signs of anxiety and to employ strategies that helped Sophie feel secure. They created a safe space for Sophie, a haven where she could retreat when she felt scared. They trained Sophie to associate their departure with positive things, like her favorite toys or treats. The road was long and challenging, but Sophie's owners were relentless in their efforts. They celebrated each small victory, each moment of calm, each day that ended without destruction. And over time, they saw a change. Sophie was less anxious, more relaxed. She began to understand that her owners would always return, that being alone was not a sentence of abandonment. Sophie's journey reminds us that professional help can make a world of difference in managing a dog's fear. It's a testament to the resilience of our canine friends and the power of understanding and patience. Sophie's story is one of triumph over fear, a tale that brings hope to all pet owners dealing with a similar struggle. Max, a German Shepherd, had a fear that's common among dogs: strangers. Max was a bundle of energy, a whirlwind of excitement, and a companion to his owners in every sense of the word. But introduce a stranger into the mix, and Max's demeanor would change drastically. His tail would tuck between his legs, his ears would flatten, and he'd retreat to the farthest corner, trembling and whimpering. Max's fear of strangers wasn't just impacting his quality of life, it was also affecting his socialization. Dogs, like humans, are social creatures. They thrive on interaction, on the exchange of scents and sounds, but Max's fear erected a wall between him and the world. He was missing out on the simple pleasures of a pat on the head from a friendly passerby, or a playful rumble with a new canine buddy at the park. His owners, concerned and desperate to help Max, turned to a tried and true method: gradual exposure paired with positive reinforcement. They started small, inviting friends over who Max was somewhat familiar with. These friends were instructed to ignore Max, allowing him to approach them at his own pace. When Max showed any sign of curiosity or bravery, he was rewarded with his favorite treat or a round of his most loved game. Over time, Max's fear began to subside. The wall he had built started to crumble, brick by brick. Strangers were no longer terrifying unknowns but potential friends. Max's world expanded, and with it, his joy. Max's story shows us that with gradual exposure and positive reinforcement, dogs can overcome their fear of strangers. As we've seen, dogs can have a wide range of fears, from Baxter's fear of thunderstorms to Sophie's separation anxiety and Max's fear of strangers. Our furry friends can harbor anxieties just as humans do. These fears, while a normal part of life, can significantly impact the happiness and well-being of our canine companions if left unaddressed. Let's take a moment to reflect on the importance of understanding these fears. By acknowledging and recognizing their anxieties, we're taking the first crucial step towards helping our dogs lead more comfortable, fear-free lives. It's an act of love, empathy, and responsibility that we, as their guardians, owe them. Now, how do we address these fears? There's no one-size-fits-all solution, but a combination of patience, understanding, professional help, behavioral training, comfort techniques, gradual exposure, and positive reinforcement often proves effective. Patience and understanding are key. Remember, our dogs can't verbally communicate their fears to us. It's up to us to take the time to understand and empathize with their struggles. Professional help can be invaluable. Veterinarians, dog trainers, and animal behaviorists can provide insights and strategies tailored to your dog's specific needs and fears. Behavioral training and comfort techniques can help our dogs feel safer and more secure. This might involve creating a safe space for them during thunderstorms, or gradually introducing them to new people in a controlled, positive environment. Gradual exposure can help acclimatize our dogs to their fears. This could mean slowly increasing the time you spend away from home to help alleviate separation anxiety, or gradually introducing your dog to new people to overcome a fear of strangers. Lastly, positive reinforcement is a powerful tool. Rewarding our dogs when they show bravery or remain calm in the face of their fears can encourage them to confront and overcome their anxieties. Remember, every dog is unique, and so are their fears. But with love, patience, and the right approach, we can help them live happier, fear-free lives.